Question number 11, Grant Robertson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Minister of State Services. Did any of the 1,480 public sector positions cut last year provide frontline services? If so, how many?
The Honourable Tony Ryle.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The government bases its cap on core government administration on the predominant nature of the departments and not whether individual staff members are predominantly administrative or frontline. So some departments in the cap have some frontline roles, and some departments outside the cap include some administrative roles. Therefore, some of those 1,480 net positions will have come from departments inside the cap, which may also have some frontline services.
Supplementary question, Mr. Speaker. So the Minister is saying that some frontline staff have been cut, and does he therefore consider that it is a good thing that some of the positions cut include border security staff, regional conservation staff, child abuse prevention staff, and the people who run the school library service?
The Honourable Tony Ryle.
Mr. Speaker, with respect to the issue of MAF biosecurity officers, and MAF is within the cap, a number of those biosecurity officers no longer have work. It's because of a significant downturn in the number of used Japanese motor vehicle imports coming into New Zealand. Therefore, fewer biosecurity officers were needed, and the headcount was reduced with no drop in service.
Grant Robertson.
Does the Minister accept that reducing so-called back office staff in agencies like Child, Youth and Family actually means that social workers will spend less time with families in need and will lead to poorer services for all New Zealanders?
Honourable Tony Ryle.
Mr. Speaker, I'm advised that the reduction in positions at SIP was a result of restructuring last year to streamline the administrative functions, and that the social workers there are working very well to provide good quality services for New Zealanders, and the Minister tells me that they are spending more time working with their clients.
Supplementary.
Jackie Dean.
Speaker,
Order of
the Minister,
Jackie
what
Dean.
reports has the Minister seen of public reaction to the cap?
The Honourable Tony Ryle.
Mr. Speaker, I've seen a number of very interesting reports. I've seen a report from the PSA National Secretary, Mrs. Brenda Pilot, that describes the cap on public services or public service numbers as a farce. I've then seen the report from Mr. Goff last night on television saying that he thinks Labour would have probably capped public service numbers as well. What this tells you is that New Zealanders have a government that recognise the tight economic circumstances that the country we are in, and that we are moving resources to support improved frontline services.
Supplementary question.
Grant Robertson.
Is the news reported on Radio New Zealand this morning that the ACC office in Blenheim is to be replaced by a drop box an indication of the kind of frontline services we can expect from this government? And if so, can we expect a tape recorder to replace social workers or a cardboard cutout to staff our borders?
The Honourable Tony Ryle.
I'm fortunate to be advised by the Minister of ACC that the premise of the member's question is completely wrong.
Speaker.
Point of order, Grant Robertson.
Point of order. I seek leave.
Order. A point of order has been called.
I seek leave to table a transcript from Morning Report this morning that states that the ACC office in Blenheim will be replaced by a drop box.
The member's not going to use that mechanism to... He knows that he can't seek leave to table a recent transcript of a recent Common Radio report. Supplementary question, Grant Robertson.
Is the Minister telling the House that Blenheim physiotherapist John Chamberlain was incorrect when he said that the 8-person office in Blenheim will be replaced by a drop box, a situation that he said was completely unsatisfactory?
The Honourable Tony Ryle.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I have the fortune of being advised by the Minister of ACC himself that there is no plan as described by that member opposite.
Question.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Grant Robertson.
Does the Minister think that his approach to cutting frontline services and the less than transparent process around state sector reform and the mining of the conservation estate might have contributed to some public servants blowing the whistle on his government's activities? And would he not be better off focusing on making government more transparent rather than undertaking a witch hunt in the public sector?
The Honourable Tony
Speaker,
Ryle.
I must say it's very rich coming from that party opposite about transparency in government. The fact is, New Zealand's inherited the national government's inherited a very difficult economic situation where under that party opposite, they increased the size of the public service by 50% over a 9-year period, and this government has put a cap on the number of core government administrators that has allowed us to move resources to improve frontline services.
Order. Well, that question provoked a fair bit of noise in the House, and I hope members have let off sufficient steam. Question number 12, David Garrett.
Thank you.